All-Star Western number 3, written by Jimmy Palmiotti and Justin Gray, art by Moritat. We last left off with Jonah Hex and Amadeus Arkham coming to the rescue of some police detective officer guy who was in the hands of the Butcher for the crime cult Bible, whatever, the crime Bible religion, I think it was. This issue picks up. Jonah is being held with a huge knife at his throat by the muscle of the Butcher. And we get some narration about Jonah's backstory, how he was sold to the Apache when he was a kid. They left him with a scar that would strike fear into the hearts of people who met. And then he went and won a bunch of campaigns for the Confederacy and then became a bounty hunter afterwards. That's the gist of it. In the actual story, he's still being held at knife point, and Arkham, having never fired a gun in his life before, shoots the giant muscly dude in the back of the head and kills him straight up. Hex manages to get away, and he's like, Butcher, you will set us free and surrender immediately. And he's like, what if I don't? And then Hex gets up and he's like, Arkham, shoot him. And he's like, I've never shot a man before today. And he's like, get over it. And Arkham comes up and he's like, you've tried to kill me twice. And he's like, well, maybe we should try to recruit you. I mean, clearly you'd be a good fit for us. And Arkham just knocks him in the stomach, and the guy starts going on about his stuff. He's like, oh, the religion of crime has already taken over Gotham. One day, his exact words here are, one will come with a smile and fists like unto stone, who strips flesh from bone, and who leadeth them of his kind that also serve Cain. Gotham will bow before him. Who's he talking about? I'm not entirely sure. With the smile, I think maybe Joker, but then the rest doesn't make any sense, so I don't know. But either way, Jonah just punches him out, and they swear that they're going to use him and the police guy they just saved in order to basically expose the religion of crime and make it so that they won't have any standing anymore. And then we flip the page, and they did exactly that. How it's the Gotham Gazette is saying, police have busted this criminal cartel, and blah, blah, blah. And they're all just sitting down outside a cafe and talking about it. And it's like, well, you know, Hex, we could use a man like you on the police force. And he's like, I'm not joining the police force. Screw that. But he is talking about possibly staying around in order to capture more men, or at least they're offering that up to him. Because, you know, there are still people who follow the crime Bible inside of Gotham. And they tell Arkham, like, and you can make your mental hospital if you want, or you can use part of the new Blackgate prison. He's like, actually, I have a better place in mind. Hint, hint, to a certain asylum. Meanwhile, a carriage pulls up next to them. Hex notices it, and it opens up its side wagon to reveal a minigun, which completely blows away the two men. The police officer that they saved, and also this other guy that I didn't quite recognize. Hex manages to tackle Arkham to the ground and save his life. Carriage starts driving away. Hex gives chase, grabs on the back of it, shoots the guys inside, and pulls the wagon to a halt. And he's like, all right, well, I think it's pretty much time I hit the old dusty trail. And he takes the horse off the wagon. They're like, what are you doing, Arkham? And he's like, or what are you doing, Hex? And he's like, I'm going to sell this horse. I'm going to get supplies, and then I'm going to leave. And he's like, oh, well, what about the crime Bible? And he's like, that doesn't pay. Like, they're bad people, but I need some money. So, and apparently he's looking for someone called the Trap family that have bounties on their head, and they're not from around these parts, but they're coming to Gotham because it attracts flies like manure. And basically, Hex just gives Arkham the hard push of just like, dude, you are way too clingy and way too up my ass. Get out of here. We ain't friends. We're not buddies. Our business is done. Go. And Arkham sadly walks out, but then he turns back around. He's like, hey, I saved your life back there. You owe me something at least, and at least some respect. And Hex is like, hey, you hang around with me, you're going to end up dead. That's just how it always goes. I'm trying to do you a favor. Get out of here. And he tries bartering this horse to get some supplies, but he's having no luck because I guess they just don't barter anymore. And he walks out upset and unsure of where to go from there. We cut to what I assume is the Trap family, but they don't actually say so. But they're reading the newspaper saying that Hex is in town. And they show how they have kidnapped these 3 women, and they're arguing like, oh, maybe we should get out of town before Hex shows up. It's, oh, but it's raining outside. I don't want to leave in the middle of the rain. And one of the women gets up and just tries to make her way out the door. She bolts as fast as she can. And one of them just shoots her in the head and just says, oh, well, that's one gone, so that one was yours because you shot her. And as she falls to the ground outside in the pouring rain, the men get up to bring her back inside. And when they get outside, they see Jonah Hex is already standing there waiting for them, hand on his pistol, ready to go. And that's where we end the issue. Kind of feels like the end of the arc, which is weird. I mean, a 3-issue arc. It's not unheard of, but it did feel like, I mean, that was a big thing, the religion of crime. And they were just kind of like, all right, and we are done with it. And I'm not sure where we're going to go from here. It kind of just based off of how it's feeling that he's going to stick around in Gotham, but it also feels like he did send Arkham away, so maybe we're just not going to deal with Arkham, which is kind of weird because he was more of our POV character in the first 2 issues than Hex was. I don't know where it's going to go from here, but as this issue on its own, I'm going to go ahead and give it a 6.5. It doesn't really do much of anything. It's fine. Like, it's a good issue. It's fine. But it's like, okay, this is just literally wrapping up the story. Like, the rich people were all exposed because of that article, and maybe they were dealt with, maybe they weren't. But, you know, it all happened in between the pages between the butcher being caught and the publication of the article. And it's like, all right, I feel like we missed a whole bunch there that could have been interesting to explore. I guess maybe this Trap family might be the next big thing. I don't know. They certainly seem evil enough, considering they just sit around a table playing poker while 3 bound and gagged women are in the background, and they shoot them with no remorse. So, yeah, maybe they're next. I don't know, but 6.5, it's fine. We'll see where it goes from here. I genuinely have no clue. The only thing I know is that it's going to keep following Jonah Hex. So, hey, that'll be interesting.